Hey y'all, Moses here. I wanted to update you guys on my settings and to bring a new guide to optimize and get more FPS out of your game. I will leave a link to the original video down below. I just wanted to go through some of the easy things you can do in Windows and from and to download as well. But I wanted to kind of split it up into two things: outside of the game and inside the game optimization. So the first thing that I want to show you guys to do is relatively new, and I haven't had a lot of time to test it. So let's jump in. Find where your game is installed. So that will be in your in your Steam folder essentially. Go find your Steam folder. Go to the Steam apps here. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Steam apps, common, PUBG, TSL game, binaries, Win64, and then find tslgame.exe. All right, you find that, right click that guy, go to properties. This is in Windows 10. I don't know if it works in Windows 7 or 8 or whatever you happen to be using. Click over to the compatibility tab. Go on down to this option here. It says override high DPI scaling behavior, and then click this button or this box here and select application. Okay, hit apply, done deal. Apparently, it makes it work better. I haven't tested that one specifically. Second thing, open up your Nvidia control panel. So this is for Nvidia users only, FYI, okay? Nvidia control panel. Go into your Manage 3D settings. Go to Program Settings. And add that binary that we just found. So go to Browse, go to the same folder, Steam apps, common, PUBG, TSL game, binaries, Win64. Add this. You can do both of these if you want. Or no, sorry, just this one. You can do it for the test server as well if you like. But for now, just do tslgame.exe. I've already done mine, so I'm just going to cancel out and scroll down to these two things here. The first one, or sorry, in power management mode, make sure you have prefer maximum performance. I'll get back to that in a second since you should have that enabled all the time anyway. But also this one here, threaded optimization. Turn this on, not auto, on. So go back to your global settings and just make sure that you have prefer maximum performance in your power management mode set all the time, because it's just generally better. If you have a desktop, you have no reason to have that off. And that is it for that. Now, one thing that I used to do that I do not do anymore, but is still an option, is your digital vibrance settings. So if you go to adjust your desktop color settings in display, you have an option down here called digital vibrance. Now, if you turn this up, it'll increase the saturation of color, make your image more vibrant. Don't go too crazy with this. I have mine off now since the colors were a little too vibrant. I just leave that off now, but that's an option if you want to get some more color in your game as well at the video card level. Second thing, second half of this is jumping into the Playerunknowns Battlegrounds game. And we'll get to reshade in a minute, just because that technically is a slight hit to performance, but is better for visuals in the game. So let's just wait for this to load up briefly. You can see reshade is running up here already. So my personal video settings are my preference. Now, recently in the latest patch, they have some forced options as far as depth of field and shadows and stuff are concerned. We'll get to that as well. But for now, I just want to show you my graphics settings, which are on the front page here. So I run in full screen most of the time, sometimes full screen windowed, but for the best performance, run your game in full screen. Now, again, FOV has nothing to do with performance. I run my screen scale at 120. However, for best performance, and in some cases for some slight better visibility, because screen scale is just like, it enhances the resolution, so it can reduce visibility in some instances. I like my game to look sharp. I leave mine at 120. The rest is very low. Now, there are some benefits to anti-aliasing. However, I leave mine off. Post-processing, very low. Shadows, very low. I have my textures on ultra just because I like the game to look a little bit better, but you can have that on low or very low if you like. Effects, very low. Foliage very low, and view distance very low. Now this will render terrain at a shorter distance, like grass and what have you. However, for the sake of testing and for later, I want to actually turn mine to ultra again, just to see further away objects rendering, including vehicles as you parachute. So this will render objects further away than very low, but for optimization and FPS only, leave it on very low. I'm turning mine to ultra. You don't have to. It's just a thing I want to try out. Now, as far as the depth of field and the blurriness that was introduced in the most recent patch, I'm going to show you, and I will link to this stuff in the description, so don't worry. I want to show you how you can disable it. Now, fair warning, this includes editing the INI files for the game. Now, no one has said that this is a bannable thing. I don't know for sure, but I've done it, and a lot of other people have as well, just to maintain, again, a visibility thing and to disable the post-processing depth of field effects that they are forcing now. So go to your local app data. You can do that by doing %local app data, app data. There we go. And then % again. Bang, do that. Go down to your TSL game. Oh, you can't see because my stupid head's in the way. Sorry. Go down to TSL game right here. Saved, config, Windows no editor, and find engine.ini. Right click that, edit with whatever program you want. What you need to add, wait a second. Oh yeah, this is right. Okay, sorry, I freaked out because I thought they changed it again. So you'll see these two lines right here. This is what you need to add. So all you need to, I'll leave this in the description. You can find it. So you just need to paste this at the end of this part here. So just make a space, enter it once, add these things here. This will turn off the depth of field effect. Right click, save. And if you want, you can make that read only as well. So nothing can mess with it if you like. The last thing I want to talk about, this is again, purely for increasing visibility in the game. And I'll jump into the game here in a minute to show you what it looks like. If you want to go to a website to download Reshade, go to reshade.me, download this guy here, download it. I'll go through this for you anyway. Wait for it to download, open that bad boy up. Again, this is sanctioned by the devs. It does sometimes, not break, but it'll get blocked by BattlEye. Sometimes it's not a cheat, don't worry. So you select your game, going back and find where you just were with your Steam games. So you go, for me, Steam, Steam apps, common, PUBG, TSL game, binaries, Win64, and there's the game. Bang, just like that. So you select your rendering API, you just click right here, DirectX 3D, or sorry, Direct 3D 10 Plus, click that guy. Do you want to overwrite the existing installation? I'm going to hit yes. Do you wish to download a collection of standard effects from this place? Yes again. It'll download all the stuff. Give it a minute. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to uncheck all. Bang, just like that. And then you want to recheck Adaptive Sharpen on all the way down to Technicolor 2. Now, this is very similar to Digital Vibrance. If you're doing Digital Vibrance, do not do Technicolor 2. I use Technicolor 2. Go. Bang. Done. So it says it succeeded. We did it. Done. Exit out of the program, you're good to go. Let's jump back into the game. I will show you briefly how to set up Reshade the way I have it set up. Unless it overwrites my settings. I hope it doesn't, but anyway, all these different things will increase your performance. And I run an Nvidia based system, so I hope you do as well. It's the primary video card provider right now. All you AMD people, I'm sorry you made that choice, but hopefully you have some method of increasing your performance as well that is different than this. Okay, so Shift F2 will open Reshade, okay? So then you want to go to Settings. Make sure you're in Configuration mode. Okay, so Settings, Configuration mode. Go back to Home. Select the Adaptive Sharpen preset down here. All right, so this is my settings specifically. 100% sharpening strength is a little too high in my opinion, and this is something I've changed recently as well from the last one. You should have it set to 1.0. That's what it defaults to. I have mine set to about 0.75. Now it says 0.73 on the screen. You can change it. Basically, what it does is it increases, and you can see on the character model here. Oh Christ! So if you increase the sharpening factor, know what I'm doing. There we go. So if you increase it to 1.0, it looks okay, but it looks a little too, I think it'll probably be worse visibly than if you take it down a notch. Like you can see the changes, like the sharpening effect really kind of distorts the image. So I want to bring mine back to about 75-ish is what I settled on. Even 70 is fine, and leave that as that. So the same thing with Technicolor 2. If you're at 1.0 strength, it looks bright and nice and all that, but it just looks weird once you get in the game. So I have mine set to, I think, 50% strength or 60% strength, right about there. I can't remember what it was, 65. So that's where I leave mine generally. So that'll give more pop to the color. It'll look a little bit better, and it'll allow you to get some better visibility in the game as well. So what does all of this look like once you get into the game? Let's just let's jump into the old Asian server here. We'll go into third person, and I'll show you what it looks like. So all of these things combined will increase your performance. The only thing that will give you a slight performance hit that you should not install if you're looking for pure FPS performance is reshade. Now on my system, and if you actually go, and sorry, one last step to this. Once you're done with the settings, make sure you're in performance mode. That'll kind of set the settings. And you can see in statistics what the overall FPS hit is, and we'll wait for it to load in the game. It's not going to look super great right now. But you can see what the overall FPS hit is to the game right here. So I'm running at about 115 FPS. We're loaded into the game, and it will give you a idea as to how much FPS it is costing you. So for those two things, it's costing me 0.05 FPS and 0.01 FPS total cost. So it should not have an impact on your game, but if it does, do not install Reshade if you're looking for pure FPS performance. So all of those things said, this is what the game looks like now, and I will turn on my overall, I can't. I'll show you what the FPS looks like just as we get into the game. HUD layout, I'm just going to control M that guy. So yeah, that's how it looks like in the game with all of my settings. This is basically how I've always played my game. You can see that I'm running at about 103 FPS right now, 107, 118. For this particular point of the game, that's pretty good. I generally idle around 85 actually. So I haven't tested that first thing that I did on the compatibility screen, but it looks really, really nice. Capped out at 144 FPS, which is again pretty good. So yeah, that's kind of it. I just wanted to give you guys an idea as to what this looks like in practice, the step-by-step guide to enable all of these settings, and what my video settings look like. This is new. It is September 22nd, 2017. This is the newest patch with my newest settings. Hopefully it gives you some performance increase and that you guys can get some benefit out of this as well. So I can already tell that my game is going to crash. No, we're good. So everything's cool. That's it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Hit me up on Twitch, twitch.tv/wtfmoses. And you know what? Let's just try and kill some guys. This is a guide. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. Let's kill a couple of dudes somewhere. Hold on. Yeah. So twitch.tv/wtfmoses. I should probably think these guides out a little bit more before I play them. There's a guy right there. Hey, hey. It's extremely loud in my headphones. Hey, what are you doing in here? Upstairs. Sir? He's hiding. Sir? You in here? Steve? Oh, he's got a gun somewhere. We're dead. What, do you run through the house? I can hear him running around. Where are you? I think I got stuck in him. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks, guys. I'll see you out there.